Well, excited to be here. We really had kind of focused on our five seniors for Saturday and wanted to go out and I heard a question of Coach Fisher about momentum. Momentum is nothing if not a great thing in basketball, and we didn't want to just win on Saturday. We wanted to win, get better, and have the ultimate amount of confidence going forward, because as I told the team, we're going to celebrate this weekend, and when we come in on Monday, everybody's back to square one. Everybody's 0-0, and we'll find out who we play in a couple days, but couldn't be more pleased and proud with what we were able to finish up with by a 15-game run. Now it's time to take a deep breath. We'll work the next couple days on things that we've been preparing for to prepare for the weekend. I think one thing that's been really good about our team is we've been able to put in a lot of new stuff, work on stuff over the past 2-3 weeks that we haven't had to use in games, but I feel we're ready for potentially what we could face, whether it's 2 through 9, because that's the beauty of March Madness. We can't anticipate we'll play this team or that, so we'll work on ourselves. We'll find out Tuesday night whether we're playing Air Force or Nevada, and we'll get up on Wednesday and be ready to go.
Coach, you just mentioned everybody's 0-0. I guess the men's team is a little bit in the situation where they look upon this as a new opportunity, and you're going to face
Sure.
like that. What's the mentality there? I mean, some of these teams you're going to face that maybe didn't do as much as they anticipated or other people anticipated, and now all of a sudden they get the second chance.
Well, I think for us, a year ago, we won the league and we went to the tournament with the big old target on our back, and ironically, we're the only white shirts to win. I mean, everybody was upset day one on the women's side except for ourselves. Every lower seed team, like we played the lower seeded team throughout the tournament. I also think that we have a veteran group that is used to having the target on their back, that has experienced that before. I mean, we faced it. Anything else, Mark, 8 road games where we were always the biggest game for that team at home. We're used to that. I thought the good guys are supposed to wear the white hats. We always have the black hats. Everybody always wants the Aztecs to lose. Everybody always wants, Courtney to miss all her shots. That's kind of the role you put yourself in, but as a competitor, that's the role you relish. It's different. Going up the mountain is different than when you get, if you will, to the top of the mountain. But you're right. We're all back on the other side again, and we know we have to win 3 games in 72 hours. So is it a different approach? To some degree, yes. In the finality of when people give you a shot this time, whoever doesn't win is done. And I think people usually competitors will play with a little bit more urgency and really nothing to lose. We've other than Fresno, we've beaten everyone twice, so you have to expect that people are going to try things, coaches are going to try things that perhaps they didn't do the first 2 times. So that's what I do with my idle time. Maybe they'll do this, and we'll work on that in practice today. Maybe they'll throw this at us. We just want to be as prepared as possible to go forward.
Could you go the entire season playing 2, maybe 3 times a week? Is there any way to prepare for 3 games potentially in 72 hours?
I think it's a challenge in November. It's not a challenge in March because you're running on adrenaline, and I think, I tell you the challenge in our conference tournament is that someone's going to win on Thomas and Mack, and I say that because the women don't play there. We play in Cox Pavilion. Someone's going to win on Tuesday night and then have 2 days to prepare to play us, and we won't even be there yet. So, your 8-9 team is, if you will, being set up for a little bit more favorable opportunity coming into the game. But it's not fatigue. It's interesting. A lot of great conference tournament championships were on yesterday, and some I thought looked like they'd been playing for 3 days in a row, and some didn't at all. I think our team, the closer you get to the prize, the better we play. So I wouldn't expect fatigue to be a factor at all. They know what's on the line.
For any of the players, are you approaching this like you guys are already in the NCAA tournament, or are you approaching it like you have to win this game?
I know. Well, I think that we are approaching it like we have to win the tournament, because there's nothing guaranteed for us, and it's not like we're in the top 25. And so, really, if you're not in the top 25 and you haven't already won your conference tournament, then you're not guaranteed. So we're approaching it as if we might not have a chance at all to make the NCAA tournament.
Beth, to that point, rightly or wrongly, this is probably a one-bid league. I mean, I think.
Unless the Aztecs get beat, I think for sure.
Exactly. But that being said, how much more does that ramp up the pressure, particularly after the kind of regular season you have going in?
Well, we did everything. We scheduled hard. We competed hard. And one of the things, as opposed to a year ago, we don't have a bad loss, which helps you. And then, really, Mick, you just have to cheer for every white shirt in every tournament that's out there, because we have held steady in the 35 to 40 RPI range. But with that said, yesterday St. Joe's beats Dayton. Dayton is a 3-4 seed, so St. Joe's is probably in the tournament. I don't know that they would have been in. So, all those things are just for people like you guys to write about and think about and talk about. And same with myself. If you want things to seed out the way they're supposed to seed out. But with that said, I think we have to go game to game. And I don't think there could be any more pressure on us than there was all season long. Frankly, when Nevada beat Fresno at home, we talk about it all the time. That's why I think these guys are all well-versed in it's our destiny, it's not mine. So I want to make sure they understand, for right or for wrong, a home loss to Nevada, which can happen to anybody, probably took them out of the tournament because it happened in February to a low RPI team. So we've kind of been playing with that pressure, if you will, night after night after night. And I don't think it'll change. We won't be any tighter or any looser. We want to go there and win the tournament. With that said, if we can crawl in the front door, the back door, or leave the garage open, we'll get on in if we can. But we'd like to be cutting down the nets on Saturday night.
Chelsea, when you play with that kind of edge, I mean, how hard is it to maintain that night after night?
I think kind of what Coach Burns says, you're playing mostly off adrenaline, even though it's, 3 games, what's at stake. The stakes are really high at this point, and we know that these games are must win. So I think when you're in any situation like that, it gives you the extra focus, the extra energy that you need to perform. And we've been in that situation before, and we've been successful. And that's pretty much, I think, how the team felt at that time.
Coach, in baseball, I was just saying, you start going into a slump when you're in a hot streak. Do you feel like, as you...
I'm glad I don't play baseball. That's what kind of saying is that, man?
But do you feel like, as you continue to win, the pressure internally continues to mount on, we won 15, 16. How much longer can we go, or we better keep this up?
It's streaks really have, for basketball players, it's really not something that you think about, talk about. I was asked after the game on Saturday, now that you've, tied this record, I have no clue. To us, Chapter 1 is first part of the non-conference season. Chapter 2 is the regular season. So to me, streak, it's closed. We got a 3-game tournament that we have to play, and then we have to win to go further. So it doesn't matter. I don't think you look it. Coaches are obsessive, right? Like, if we're not worried, we worry about something that we're not worried about. I'd rather be streaking with momentum than anything else. It's because we find ways to win. And when you're in that situation, just like Chelsea alluded to, when you have to get one more rebound, when you have to make a shot, when you have to do that, these 3 guys sitting here and those 11 guys downstairs believe one of us is going to do it. Because you build a kind of trust and confidence, not false confidence. If you have an immature team, streaks are awful, because then they can get a little fat and happy. We have an experienced team that understands what's at stake and the way we have to play. So I don't think that. And just as a finish, in baseball, you hit 3 out of 10 and you're good too, right? In our business, that doesn't make it. So that's probably why that would be something that they'd look at.